Hello, you wonderful people. So for this video, I want to talk about what is probably my only bad experience in a restaurant. And it wasn't from like, oh, like because the, restaurant was terrible or like the service was terrible. At least in my opinion, it was just because it's from a customer point of view where it's like the people where I was with were kind of shitty, so they kind of made the experience a little bad. I was with two other people and we went to this kind of newly open restaurant. It had been open probably barely like 2 months at the time or something, and I'd eaten there previously at least twice. So my third time there, I sat down with these two other people and they just kind of had like a shitty experience with it. Just on the fact is that to them, the service was slow, the food was cold, as well as like the portion sizes weren't that big. Which to me personally, none of that really mattered too much. I mean, I'm not saying they weren't valid reasons to be, upset, but to me it wasn't like that big of a deal. But I'm kind of like that about most things in a situation like that, so it didn't bother me. Because I mean, for me, most times, it's not that big of a deal. Because truth be told, I don't like eating out at restaurants anyway. Because most times, well, not most, all the time, when it comes to eating out at a restaurant, I only go because I'm dragged along by other people. Only reason why I ever eat out at all. But anyway, like I said, like these were valid complaints, but it's just like what really bugged me about it was how one of said people that was with me handled the situation. Well, when it came to like, paying for the bill and everything, they paid for it obviously, and they left a $5 tip even though after all they're complaining. Then said person proceeded to write all across the borders of like this $5 bill, the food was cold, the food was cold, the food was cold, the food was cold, in pen. I don't know about you, but I feel like that's a very immature, petty, and passive aggressive way to get across your message, I mean, it's like, if you really felt that strongly, you shouldn't have like bothered even leaving a tip at all. I mean, it's just like, I mean, hell, you could have left the tip and then left a note stapled to it or something. I mean, it's a newly formed restaurant, so they obviously have like a complaint box on like, oh, where we can improve and stuff like that. But it's like, you didn't have to, you literally went out of your way to do that. I sat there and watched this person do it, and it's like, you're a full-grown fucking adult. Who does shit like that? I expect that from someone who's younger, but it's like, you're mature enough that you should know like, oh yeah, I shouldn't do that. The other person I was with didn't really say anything else. They were just like okay with it. They were complacent. I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you? And it's not like the person who served us, from my recollection, it's not like they were a terrible person or something. So to me, because that money isn't going towards a restaurant, it's going towards like, the servers, like the waiters and the waitresses. So it's kind of like you leaving that note isn't going to affect the restaurant per se. It's just going to affect that person because that tip is going into their pocket. It's not going towards the restaurant. So it's like that message is directly aimed at them in a sort of sense. I mean, I doubt the person would take it too personally, but still. Later on, I will find out that this restaurant did get closed down for those specific reasons, just mainly, slow service. Like I said, it's just, I feel like the person I was with handled that in a very shitty manner. Like, if you really felt that dissatisfied, you should have just not left a tip at all. You didn't have to go to, it's not an extreme per se. I mean, I feel like it could be, but someone like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. I just think that was just shitty on their part, but that's just me. I'd like to hear about your experiences, when it comes, some bad experiences you've had at restaurants, both from customer point of views as well as employees, because you hear a lot of stories from like waiters and waitresses as well as like cooks and stuff about some of like the shitty things like customers do. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel for much more. Like always, till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.